Hey guys, Keith here. After recording that scary warning about 2017.24 and the risks of upgrading if you've got value curves, and if that's the case, you need to go and watch that video. I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about a new effect, which is this one just here, the shape effect. Works best on a matrix or on a large tree. Let's expand it out. This is on my large tree. And as hopefully you can see there, by default, it's drawing circles in the colors that I've chosen. So we've got some red, white, and green expanding circles. And so basically this object is all about drawing shapes onto your display. You can change a whole bunch of parameters down here for the tree, for the shapes. In this case, it's circles. You can change the thickness of the circles. Make them thicker. If you go really thick, then obviously they become solid. By default, they're just the one circle in diameter. You can change the number of them, so you can create lots and lots and lots of circles. You can change how large they start. So the starting size for them. You can change how long they live for. So this obviously slows down their growth because they're only going to grow. And you can also change how fast they grow. So the faster they grow, obviously the bigger they get during their lifetime. Growth is also possible to be negative. So with an appropriately set parameter and a decent start size, you'll see they actually shrink. So lots of control over things like that. You can also control where. At the moment it's random locations. If you set a single location, then you can obviously move it around. And now it's drawing 5 circles kind of randomly around that point. They also don't have to fade away. They were, but they don't have to. So if you want the circles to stay nice and bright during the duration, then that'll work as well. You can also, much like fireworks, fire them off with music intensity or with a timing track. So you can set some timing marks and have each circle actually display as you cross each timing mark. So if you want your circles to look like they're associated with the music, then that's also possible. So that's about it in terms of the parameters. The rest of the changes are really just in the shapes. The shapes are pretty flexible, so we have some triangles, which are kind of cool. Squares, obviously we're currently shrinking. Let's go back to expanding. We'll start them at 0. What else have we got here? Count looks good. So now we've just got expanding squares. We'll make them a little bigger, make them 2. So you can see they're a little bit wider. And I actually quite like throwing a blur on them. So just a slight blur on them. So squares looks good, but we get to some more exotic shapes, some pentagons maybe, or maybe you'd like hexagons. Octagons even. These kind of look almost like circles, although actually they don't look too bad. The good old classic stars, and with the stars you can of course change the number of points on your stars. So you can go up to 7-point stars, all the way down to 4-point stars if that's what you want. So a few options there on stars. Then you've got love hearts. These look particularly good when you pump the thickness up a little bit. So maybe something for Valentine's Day, I don't know. For Christmas, of course, you might want a Christmas tree or 2. Maybe we should increase their growth factor so they grow a little bit larger. There we go. Some nice Christmas trees. And candy canes. those that want candy canes. You can do that as well. And finally, you can just have a random mixture of them. So stars and circles and candy canes and trees and all sorts of things. Obviously, the colors govern which one get displayed each time. So looks pretty cool. If you want to mix up, if you want to have just one shape, but then you want to have, maybe you want to have some circles and squares, then obviously you would insert a layer below, throw another one on there. And change the type to squares, and now you've got squares and circles displaying. So yeah, it's a slightly different effect, something that I'm hoping people find some use out of. Cheers, guys.